Welcome to Deep Dives. My name is Lainey. I'm the programming assistant here at the Bruce County Museum and Cultural Center.
And I'm Laura Leonard, curatorial assistant.
So what are we looking at today?
So today I pulled out what's known as a pompadour.
Okay.
So it is for doing a hairstyle, which is also known as a pompadour. So yes, they're just sort of the same thing. So pompadours consist of, for doing your hair, we'll have a hair comb.
Okay.
And then they have this piece here, which sometimes is known as a hair rat. There's several different versions of this.
Yeah.
So this one actually is made of wire. Like it's
Okay.
very, very light.
Yeah.
I know it's probably a little bit hard to see in the camera a little bit because it's very fine wire.
Yeah.
So what you would do is this piece, so a pompadour hairstyle, if for those of us who don't know, involves ladies pulling their hair sort of up and over, so you kind of have almost like a roll.
Yeah.
In the front and also on the sides, and then you would pull your back hair up but tight.
Yeah.
And then you would kind of have it in a bun.
Okay.
Or some other sort of configuration, sort of on top, kind of in the middle.
So this wire would sit towards the top of your head there?
So this actually sits like at the top of your crown. So the comb is sort of set to sort of the same round as sort of the back of your head.
Yeah.
So it would sit on top. And then, yes, this would come forward, and then your forward hair would get pulled up and over it. And then this wire essentially would help it keep like that curl sort of shape.
Okay.
So other ways that women were doing it at the time would be that they would have like a roll. And it could even be like wrapped in leather.
Okay.
Or it could just be wool or something else.
Yeah.
And then same idea. They would pop it in and then pull it up. And then with hairpins and other things, you would get it sort of to stay.
Okay. And so then this cage that's what holds it all up?
Yes. So the cage kind of helps keep it up. The cages for a while were really considered to be almost healthier for your hair because the other things, also known as hair rats, were kind of thicker and maybe didn't breathe. Where this sort of allowed your hair to breathe and it was lighter. So that was sort of a big plus for these. Now this one actually has a little bit of maneuverability. So you could make your bump taller if you wanted it to be taller. So there's a little bit of arm movement there. Doesn't like to stay by itself when you do that, but that kind of idea. So you could adjust the angle of how tall you wanted your bump to be.
Yeah, and then what sort of time period would this have been used in?
Pompadours were very much in, again, around the turn of the 20th century.
Okay.
So in around 1903 kind of came the rise of what's known as the Gibson girl. And the Gibson girls is probably one of the things people hear, but sort of, I don't know a whole lot about them. What I do know, though, is that they still definitely were using like a pompadour hairstyle, but it was kind of like the messy bun of pompadours. So it was very loose and wispy and curly. And yeah, so you kind of see that where hairstyles before were still like in this pompadour style, but they were a little more like tight.
Okay.
So then all of a sudden there was kind of like this loose and sort of wispy, almost a little more natural sort of look to it.
Yeah.
And then, so there was a little bit of a difference there. And then slowly they phased out.
Okay. So this is sort of the Edwardian era.
Yes.
An Edwardian era bump it almost. Like from the 2000s.
And and then, in the early 2000s, there definitely was the bumps that come back with what is her name? Snooki, I think her name was. From the Jersey Shore, and everybody was buying the things to make essentially a bump, or to make a pompadour. So what goes around does really and truly come back around in some sort of way. For sure, yeah.
There we go.